Welcome to Cooking Videos with Dave, number 73. Today we have meatloaf and some grilling videos, some taco videos, something with Cooking with Jack, apparently some horrible cooks, hot dog heaven, which sounds like the lead-in to a certain type of movie starring all men, and some grill recipes. And if there's time, a gumbo recipe. Cause you always gotta make time for the gumbo. Alright, let's jump into how to cook a classic meatloaf.
Tasty. To me, it brings me back to when I was a kid and my mom's making meatloaf. It was on her weekly rotation, you know, and if everybody in the neighborhood knew my mom was making meatloaf, everybody would be to dinner on time, no cell phone screens, everybody sitting, waiting, ready to dig in. Let's talk about selecting the right beef. We got 80-20. This recipe calls for a 93-7. I prefer an 80-20. Adds a little bit more richness to the dish, a little bit more flavor. Whatever cut you find, whatever ground beef you find in the store is going to work great for this dish.
Just get a meatloaf, a pan.
Now let's get cooking. We're going to put together this classic meatloaf recipe. We're going to start with our 93-7 lean ground beef. We're going to add our panko. If you have somebody in your family that has a gluten intolerance, you can.
Why do you need breadcrumbs? There's not going to be any fat anyway.
You could always use masa as a binder also, but we're going to go ahead and add this panko, some Japanese breadcrumbs. We're going to add our ketchup. The recipe calls for a 3/4 cup. We need to make sure we reserve a 1/4 cup of that. So we're going to add in our ketchup, then our minced onion, our garlic, our Worcestershire, egg, thyme, and then a little salt and pepper. And then we're going to go ahead and mix this up. Incorporate all the ingredients together. Shouldn't take you too long. If you wanted to use a mixer with a paddle handle for this, you could.
Yeah, you can use a cake pan. The meatloaf pan is actually 2 pans in one. And the bottom pan is the grease pan, so it traps all the grease, so you don't have to lift your meatloaf out of a pool of grease.
But mixing it by hand, just as long as you're using gloves or washing your hands thoroughly, we're going to make sure and go ahead and get all these ingredients together and get this meatloaf going. This is the consistency that we're looking for in the meat. We want to have it kind of nice and smoothed off, no big gaps. Our meat is all ready to go. We're going to add it into one of our loaf pans. If you wanted to add a little bit more excitement or make things a little bit more unique on your menu, you could also mold it into a cupcake mold or a pan mold. But in this case, we're going to use...
I've never done it in a cupcake mold. Wouldn't they give you meatballs?
This is our loaf pan. We're going to go ahead and just kind of set it in there nice. Now that we have our meatloaf formed, we're going to go ahead and put it in the oven at 350
Oh, I love meatloaf.
degrees.
One of my favorite dishes.
For about 35-45 minutes. Internal temperature of about 160. There's our meatloaf. Aha.
Well, the big thing is maybe it's me, but I don't add a lot of bread to my meatloaf. Maybe that's where...
We have our classic meatloaf finished out of the oven, 160 degrees internal temperature. We're going to take our little reserve special sauce, aka ketchup. We're going to glaze that a little bit, just to give it like a nice little shine. This makes the presentation a little bit nicer. We're just going to make sure the glaze is evenly spread out. Then we're going to throw it back in the oven for maybe 5 minutes just to kind of caramelize that a little bit. Then it's ready to slice and serve for your guests. We have our meatloaf in the oven. We got our nice little ketchup glaze going.
Did he let it rest?
I think this is perfect. Got a little caramelization on there with the ketchup. Pull it out. It's nice and hot. And we're going to just slice it up.
Well, the other reason is I use 80-20. This guy used 93-7. So there's not enough fat in there to make a big deal anyway.
Nice, about inch and a half slices. We're going to plate it.
Didn't bother to let it rest.
Serve it. Look at how beautiful that is. And voila. Sorry, all the French guys making meatloaf. It's not much meatloaf and not much meatloaf in France, I don't think.
No, he didn't. Here, I can bring it back.
Together this classic meatloaf recipe. We're going to start with our 93.7 lean ground.
So it's 93.7. You do this with their 80-20, I guarantee you're going to have a pool of grease.
Beef. We're going to add our panko. If you have somebody in your family that has a gluten intolerance, you could always use masa.
Oh my God! I just replayed it for you, dipshit! He said he uses 80-20. Oh my God, fine, I'll replay it.
Selecting the right beef. We got 80-20. This recipe calls for a 93.7. I prefer an 80-20.
He said he prefers an 80-20. Now, listen to what the bald fucker actually used.
We're going to put together this classic meatloaf recipe. We're going to start with our 93.7 lean.
See, he said he's using 93.7 in this. Which means the meatloaf's drier than a dog's dick. Whatever. Be either fucking stupid or believe whatever you want. Alright, now we're going to move on to Cooking with Jack. This is Sloppy Joe Burritos. I would love to know how he's going to fuck this up.
You are watching the Cooking with Jack show.
It's now time for viewer comments.
All right, guys, let's take a look and see what we got for comments. It looks like Junior Crazy 9461 wrote me and said, "Man, just because you didn't put crust on the pizza does not make it a bottomless pizza." That's exactly what a bottomless pizza is. The Wilbur 890 wrote, "Still doing product reviews? June 2025. Yep. If there's anything you want me to review, let me know. But we're still doing product reviews. Nothing interesting has really come out yet. But if you see something, send it my way. I'll do a video on it." And Jack Davis 1111. "I'm very excited for the investigative reporting." Well, I am too. Thank you very much. If there's something you want me to investigate, let me know. The next video we're doing is comparing dine-in restaurant food to a to-go order and seeing if the amounts are different. I believe you get ripped off. On to-go orders, you don't get as much food. We'll find out. Okay. Thank you very much. If there's something the next video we're doing is comparing dine-in restaurant food to a to-go order and seeing if the
of the same restaurant. I can tell you probably get, some people probably get less with a Chipotle to-go order because there's always that one dick that's in the line at Chipotle's saying, "Come on, man, top off the rice. Give me more rice. Give me more beans. Give me more of this. Give me more of that. Come on, top it off. Top it off." Shut the fuck up.
Amounts are different. I believe you get ripped off. On to-go orders, you don't get as much food. We'll find out. Okay, guys, let's run down all the ingredients. You got ground beef, cheddar cheese, light brown sugar, onion, bell peppers, ketchup, oil, and milk. I think that's all of it, other than the spices.
Why do you have milk? I get all the other shit for Sloppy Joes, but I don't get the milk. Except as a beverage to drink.
Salt, pepper, onion powder, that kind of stuff. But these are the ingredients. Let's get everything prepared. First, I want you to do me a favor. brown the meat. Meet me over at the stove. Well, we're probably going to brown the meat and throw ingredients in. So let's prepare all the ingredients first and meet me at the stove. Let's do that. And pour oil in. There we go.
If it's 80-20, you don't need oil. It's not gonna hurt anything, but you don't need it.
Alright guys, brown the meat and then I'll show you what to do next. Alright guys, we're gonna put a little salt in. And some pepper.
Oh yeah, his one arm is still fucked.
Love pepper. Little minced onions. A lot of minced onions. Brown sugar. Put your ketchup in.
Okay, you know you need to drain the meat. I don't know why you're adding all this shit in now. Because you're going to lose most of it when you drain the meat, and God, I hope he's draining the meat.
And you're going to put about a cup of ketchup. I'm just eyeballing it. Don't forget the Worcestershire sauce. Throw that in there. We're literally making sloppy joes from scratch, obviously. Throw that in there. Then you're going to throw in the onions and bell peppers. So I'm going to throw them in now so they get well cooked and incorporated.
Okay, so we're going to deep fry our vegetables.
Starting to smell good. So we are now doing...
Oh my God, he didn't drain it. Oh my heaven and Christ.
Doing the cheese sauce. We're going to start with a little bit of buttermilk, about a tablespoon or two of butter in there. We're going to take some of our milk, pour that in there. Let it all meld together.
Okay, I'd love to know where he's going with this milk.
We're going to take our cheese and dump that in.
Is this still Sloppy Joe's? Because traditionally Sloppy Joe's don't have cheese in them.
About a cup's worth. And so you're going to start out with a full-size tortilla.
Well, your cheese sauce split. Because you have to whisk this while you're... First off, you didn't make a fucking roux, so problem number one. Second off, you're not supposed to add the milk all at once. Well, you add the milk. Then you let the milk get warm, hot, whatever. Then you add the cheese in batches, and you slowly make it so it can combine. This is... I don't know what the fuck this is.
Tortilla.
So you don't have the split piece of shit.
Meat, veggies. Give it a good scoop. Right in there. Beautiful. Then come over here. Grab your cheese sauce.
God, how do you fuck up a cheese sauce? It's one of the easiest things to do.
Put that over there. Looks beautiful. And
of course, more fucking cheese.
Because you just don't have enough cheese in this family. You add a little bit more cheese. Then you're gonna roll it like this. Fold the meat back a little bit. Fold the sides in. Beautiful. And then roll it the rest of the way. 2 more rolls. Put it on a plate.
About the only compliment I can give him, he actually rolled it decently.
And meet us over at the stove. Okay, now that we got all the Sloppy Joe burritos rolled, we brought them over the stove. We're melting in a skillet some butter. We're just gonna grill them really fast till you get that light brown outside. It'll probably also seal the tortillas closed. Just go ahead and grab one, throw it seam side down first, and listen to it sizzle. Give it a minute or two on each side, and then bring it back to the plate. All right, go ahead. I'm excited. Ooh, it's all bubbly and cheesy. How awesome. All right, honey, go ahead. Good? Mm-hmm. You'd recommend people to do this recipe? Mm-hmm. Nice.
Well, it's Sloppy Joe's. It's a little tough to fuck up. Let's do this, dude, who I like. Arnie Tex, the most popular tacos, American. Crunchy hard shell tacos with ground beef and hot sauce. Now, I don't like hard shell tacos as much as soft shell, but his look pretty fucking good.
Tomato, cheese. There are some beautiful crispy tacos. I'm ready to take a big old bite. But first, we need the hot sauce. Are the most popular tacos actually American-style tacos? Honestly, I don't have the answer to that question, but I do have a delicious recipe for crispy tacos.
Okay, so did he make his own tortilla shells? Like, bought the tortillas and deep-fried the fuckers?
In this video, I'm going to share with you step by step how to make these crunchy, beefy, cheesy tacos perfectly.
I'd love to know how the hell he did that.
In your own home. We'll be covering the must-have toppings, juicy ground beef, and crunchy, crispy, homemade taco shells.
He did.
So while these aren't traditional Mexican tacos by any means, this recipe has been around long enough to have been popularized widely in the States and enjoyed by so many people. And that's why you can also find this full recipe in my forthcoming cookbook, Arnie Tags. Over 100 recipes for Mexican-American cooking and Texas-style barbecue. But before we get started on our crispy tacos, I'm gonna make a hot sauce. There's two things that I really like hot sauce on. I like hot sauce on my crispy tacos, and I love hot sauce on my hamburgers. So what I look for in a hot sauce when I'm trying out hot sauces and the way that I like them, I want a little bit of heat.
I like hot sauce if it's a chicken burger. Beef doesn't work so well.
So we need a little bite in
Just my fucking opinion.
there. We also need some color. I want it to look nice and red, and we also gotta have just the right amount of salt to balance it all out. All right, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop a couple of tomatoes in my pot here.
Okay.
Actually a total of 3. These are Roma tomatoes. I'm gonna add 2 guajillo peppers.
Fucking Romas.
Like this, but these are just for show. I've actually got mine already peeled and deveined and ready to go, so we're gonna drop those in there.
Right.
And I also have 10 árbol peppers. Like I said, I like a little bite in my hot sauce. Just drop those in there. 2 garlic cloves, 1, 2. Most of the hot sauces that I like, I notice in the ingredients that they mention carrot. I've never actually used a carrot. Today we're gonna put a little carrot in there, so in it goes. Also gonna need a little bit of onion.
Put in like a half an ounce of carrot up against all this other shit.
Hello, birdie. We also need a little bit of onion, so I'm gonna take about maybe a third of this onion here and drop that in there. And it's time to cook. So I'm gonna fire this up and add some water so we can bring up the ingredients and the water to temperature all at the same time. So this sauce is gonna have a pretty decent little bite. If you want it hotter, run some habaneros. If you want it more mild, you can use a lot less chile de árbol. You can use 1 or 2 as a matter of fact. And that's all you need for a nice up a little kick. We're boiling, we're going hot and fast already. It doesn't take but a couple of minutes. 2 more minutes and I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down. Set this aside, let the water and the vegetables cool off a little bit before we get our blender out. And it's been right at 10 minutes. You can see where the tomatoes kind of got a little opaque. You can see the guajillo pepper getting nice and soft and floppy. It's not quite soft enough. So we're gonna go ahead and set it aside over there and let it just sit in that hot water for about 15-20 minutes while we cook our ground beef. We're gonna drop a little bit of oil here. We don't need a whole lot. That's probably about 1.5 tablespoons. I'm gonna let it get nice and hot, and then we're gonna drop our ground beef in here. Ooh, I love that sizzle. This is 1.5 pounds, by the way. This is 80/20 ground beef. It's been double ground. This one I did not grind personally. I usually do. So we're gonna go ahead and start cooking this.
Taco meat.
Now the meat came right out of the refrigerator. It's pretty cold. Now we wanna keep that heat really high after the meat gets...
Okay, it's a small mistake, but generally you should let your meat get up to room temperature before you cook with it. But for taco meat, it's not that big of it. Like I said, it's a small mistake.
Dropped in here about a minute later because that meat is going to cool the pan off, and we want to maintain that high temperature. You can hear it now. It's starting to kind of fade, the sizzle a little bit. We want to keep it nice and hot so the meat will brown quicker, number one. Number two, you want the water in the meat to evaporate quicker as well. So we're cooking, friends. We are cooking. Okay, once we've got our meat all broken up, or pretty close to all broken up, this is at the point where I like to add my seasoning. In this case, we're gonna add a little bit of my wild seasoning. This is an amazing barbecue seasoning. It's also fantastic on a lot of other dishes. And you can hear that the sizzle, the boil is kind of starting to subdue because we're getting more water in there. So I'm gonna turn the heat up a little bit higher. I wanna maintain that heat so that the water will evaporate and we will start to brown the meat a little bit quicker too. Now, one of the things you want to do is try to get your ground beef fairly consistent. You can leave it a little chunkier if you like chunky, but remember, we're putting it into some folded over crispy tacos. They don't have a lot of give. So if your chunks are a little too big, you won't get a lot of meat in there. Now, there's all kinds of stories about how the crispy taco was invented, where it came from. As near as I can tell, it started in California. Taco Bell is the one that has popularized it the most, and they've been around for a very long time, and people really like that stuff. But this is not a Taco Bell commercial. They did not sponsor this ad. This is an Arnie Tech sponsorship. That's my cookbook back there, by the way. Arnie Tech's over 104 recipes of Mexican-American cooking and Texas-style barbecue. You can buy the book anywhere books are sold and online at a lot of different sources. There'll be a link in the description of this video, so click on that and get you a book. Our really fast and hot sizzle.
Well, taco meat, it's not that big of a deal. But when it comes to burgers, yeah, you want the meat to warm up a little bit. Ironically, though, that's to form the burgers. Once they're formed, ironically, you want to put them back in the damn fridge for a little bit so they firm back up so they don't fall apart on your grill. And steaks and roast, yeah, let that shit get up to room temperature before you cook it.
It's coming back. A lot of our water has evaporated. Now we're starting to see a little bit of that natural oil and some of the oil that I put in there. We're just about done cooking our ground beef. I do like to give it a little...
No, whatever jackass told you to pre-salt ground steak is a fucking moron.
More brown. I want it to dry out a little bit so that my taco doesn't get all soggy when it sits there a little while. I love the way that sizzle sounds. It sounds amazing.
When the salt hits the meat, it's got about 30 more seconds before it hits a pan or the grill or anything.
Right about now, I want to do a little taste test just to see if my salt's okay. That's just about right. Could use a little bit more seasoning. We're gonna add just a little bit more. All right, I think that.
Well, careful with your ground turkey, because while some of them are way leaner than ground beef, be careful, because some of them have just as much fat as there's 80-20 ground turkey. So, if you're worried about health,
should do it just fine. We're just about done. I've got just the right amount of browning on there for my preference. If you like it browner or none at all, you know, do it the way you like. That's fine with me. But I'm fixing to turn this off because you can tell I'm pretty much out of moisture and I'm just about out of oil. I don't want to dry it out completely. That fat that the meat released and that little bit of oil I had in there all kind of blended together. It makes a really great flavor with the flavor of the ground beef. So I'm shutting off my heat. And I'm gonna just kind of stir it a little bit more so it doesn't burn as the pan cools off. So that's how quick and easy it is to cook the ground beef. It's time to make some hot sauce. Not salsa, but hot sauce. I'm gonna go ahead and get my ingredients. They're still fairly hot. Tomatoes take a long time to cool off. They sat for a pretty solid 10 to 12 minutes while we cooked our ground beef. Let's get all of these ancho chiles in here. Oh, they're nice and soft now. They're just about trying to fall apart on their own. Here's the carrot. Get that carrot in there. Onion, another tomato. Or is it a tomato? Is it a tomato or a tomato? Let me know in the comments below. Yeah. Okay, so let's get the rest of these ingredients in here. I'm gonna put a little bit of this water in here. It's not an exact measurement, guys. Call that about a cup and a half, maybe 2. Gonna add a little bit of salt. Just by looking at it, I'm gauging just from experience, so many salsas I've made in the past. I'm gonna say a teaspoon is a starting point. So we got a teaspoon of salt in there. And I also wanna put a teaspoon of vinegar. I might wind up with 2. Sometimes it just kind of depends on the flavor of the tomatoes and the other ingredients, but generally 1 to 2 teaspoons is all you need.
Now, I'm curious if he's going to strain out the seeds.
I would say that we're about done. That was about 1.5 minutes of blending. I think it's going to look pretty good right about there. I think I nailed the water. Could probably use a little bit more. You can see how it's kind of little tiny bit thick. So I'm gonna add a little bit of water and I'm gonna give this a taste test. Oh yeah. That chile de árbol got a bite. I needed another teaspoon of vinegar, so we're gonna add that in there. I didn't taste the vinegar at all. I'm gonna add this water because it's got all the flavor. I'm gonna call that another, maybe about 1/3 to 1/2 cup.
Dove Men Plus Care Whole Body DO protects you everywhere.
For cafe quality iced espresso, just the way you like it. New Nescafe Espresso Concentrate.
All right, that didn't need a lot more blending. Everything's already pretty fine. We're just trying to make sure we've got that water in there. Since I licked the other spoon, now I got to use this one. I would say that's pretty good right there as a consistency. Let's go ahead and strain this into this cup here. We're gonna use the Mama Tex technique here and try to kind of press on here, get as much of that liquid in there as we can. Okay, let's give this a pour in here. We're gonna go slow and easy. And that, my friends, is how easy it is to make a hot sauce.
Can I get those bottles?
Go ahead and start making some crispy tacos. What do you say? I want to. Let's get it nice and hot. You want it somewhere around 325, no more than 350 for sure. You just want to fry them pretty quick on one side, flip it, and then fold it over. But let's see how it does with the tortilla. We're not there. Oh yeah, we're there. I'm going to drop that tortilla in there for about 10 seconds. 1, 2, 10. We're going to flip it over. Might have a little too much oil. And then I'm just going to kind of bend it over with my tongs here carefully, like that. You want to fold it over. That's probably a better word. Got too much heat. I'm going to back that down a little bit. So we're going to fry one side for a few seconds. The oil's pretty hot. Once it sets, it's not going to unfold, so we're going to fry the other side. And we're looking for a nice golden color and a firm texture on the tortilla. You can see that it bubbled up.
All right, I got to try that next time I make tacos.
Up right there a little bit. That's okay.
Next time it's taco night.
Let it fold over all the way. It's going to stay that way, and it's going to be kind of hard to get your meat in there. So I like to get my tongs and get them right in the middle here and let it finish frying like that. So you do one side, flip it over and do the other side. They're starting to get a little crispy color there. They're pretty much done. All right, that one's done. So we're going to drain it a little bit, just like that. Time for tortilla number 2. Whew, man, I like these little racks. Never used them before. Pretty cool. All right, let's do another one. Couple of seconds on one side. You start to see all that bubbling. Flip it over and fold it right over just like that. Again, friends, don't have to be perfect. You can make them open wide or a little tight. It's really up to you how you want to do it. This is just the technique that works for me, or this is how I learned how to do it. If you have a better technique, let me know in the comments below. I don't mind. Again, I like to get my tongs right in the middle there once I flip it over one time. That way it stays open as it fries. Once it sets, it's going to stay. You can see this one over here. It's not changing anymore. And it doesn't take but about 30 or 40 seconds per side to get these nice and crispy. We got that side. We're going back this way. You can see the nice and crispy side there. Beautiful golden color. Again, I'm not looking for perfection. I'm just looking for a nice crispy taco shell. That's 2, but they are crunchy. All right, one more.
This guy reminds me of some guy from Weird Al that I can't place. From the UHF movie.
All right, come on, fold over, baby. There we go. Flippity flip. It's floating. It's done. What a pretty crispy tortilla taco. First thing we're gonna do is dice up some.
Like this guy, like, this is what, after the UHF show failed, this is what this guy did.
Tomatoes, I like to dice them a little bit fine. So what I like to do is cut them in half and then just kind of make some little long
Yeah, I'm more partial to soft shell tacos, but that's just me.
slices like this, and then we're gonna go across the other way. Okay, up next, lettuce. We're gonna slice our lettuce the way my mama taught me, just nice thin slices like this. I think that's plenty. I get people asking me all the time what kind of cheese we use. We like the Longhorn style cheddar cheese, so that's what we like to use. Now you use whatever cheese you like. And away we go. I think that's plenty of cheese for today. My wife would like some avocado slices, so we're gonna make avocado slices. All right, we're just gonna give it a little twist. Cut this in half. Remove the peel. Then we're gonna slice our avocados. Here's a great technique that I learned a couple days ago. It really works good. You wanna have a nice, cool, and semi-firm avocado to do it like this, but it works pretty good. As you slice, you kind of move it over a little bit. You can cut them thin or a little bit thicker. I like about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch if I can control my knife. This avocado is pretty soft. They wind up breaking up like that, really, really nice. Let's get the first one. This is the kind of serving spoon I like to use because you can kind of dig into the crispy taco right there, just like that. Some of that meat falls out. That's okay, don't worry about it. I like to press it down a little bit like this. That way I can get a little bit more in here. Let's just press them down a little bit more. It's all good here. We're gonna press this lettuce down too. A lot of meat and a little lettuce. And you can put as much as you like or as little as you like. We're gonna get a little bit of tomatoes on here. We got a little bit of cheese. All right, now there's no room for avocados in here, but we're gonna put one on here just for looks. Let me try and squeeze one in here. There we go, we got our avocado in there. Friends, there's some beautiful crispy tacos. I'm ready to take a big old bite.
I'd eat the shit out of that.
Cheese, lettuce, tomato, lots of ground beef in there. They're nice and crispy. But first, we need the hot sauce. You notice how I'm gonna angle my taco this way. Pour a little bit, pour a little bit of hot sauce in there so that it drips down in the other direction. I might have put a little too much. All right, I lost a little bit of my crunch while we're assembling and talking and kind of rearranging here. But friends, it's still super, super delicious. I can.
All right. All right, let's see another guy that routinely fucks everything all up.
A distant world, you faced the enemy. And all the while, you were vacuuming. Audible. There's more to imagine when you listen.
I love cooking steak. I think we always get...
All right, it's steak. You can't fuck this up, Jamie. You butchered Italian, you butchered Asian.
Excited.
Thick pan on the grill that's already
I'm kind of going
like
to North
son
Africa.
of a bitch. Okay, already we have problems.
Sort of Moorish flavors. This is a great little...
Oh my God. What is it with chefs like Jamie Oliver and Steven Reichland? What is wrong staying in your own backyard? Why do I gotta travel halfway around the fucking world and get a bunch of exotic ingredients that 95% of the population can't get?
Little dish that I'm doing for me and Jules. A nice little sharing steak with couscous, beautiful tomatoes, artichokes, and I've got some flavor.
Yeah, I love smoked meats too, but not my steaks. Tell you though, it is cut completely unevenly, so was your butcher drunk? I mean, I'm sorry, hold on, let me go full screen. You see how thick it is on one end and thin it is on the other?
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like getting Bateman when you need Batman.
Stop. Whoa, cat lady. Time out.
Nice fanny bag.
Steak!
Sprinkle.
And now almonds! The cow that gave her life for this is crying! You ran from Gordon Ramsay for years.
For the veggies. If you've never had artichokes before...
Till you had to say despicable things because you're a complete piece of shit. That
so delicious.
Well, I don't live in Britain, so I can't get them. I didn't even know what the fuck they were till... I'm sorry, the only side dishes that are acceptable for steak are fries and gravy or mashed potatoes and gravy. Anything else I'll tell you what, if you're eating outside, you can have coleslaw or macaroni salad. Anything else, go fuck yourself. Lamb is a gigantic piece of meat, and this is like maybe a 12-ounce steak. Well,
medium.
But then you get to farther into the steak, and this is closer to medium rare. Because again, you had your fire too damn hot, and your steak was probably too damn cold. Alright, whatever. I don't care. Let's see how he fucks up chicken legs.
When emergency strikes, first responders rely on the latest technology. That's why T-Mobile created
Probably those in the States are known as leg quarters, because they have the leg and the thigh.
See meat melt in your mouth. But it's really not.
Chicken legs, in the States at least, are just the legs. That's it. Thighs are just the thighs. I'm not saying they're not delicious, but let's be honest.
Not about the chicken, it's about the cauliflower, right? And I've had quite a few of these over the last couple of
Oh, God, cauliflower. What demon of hell created thee?
months, and you can't.
I'm sorry. No salt, no pepper. Okay, I'm curious what you're gonna do here.
Right, we're gonna use the heat to start.
Because without seasoning, chicken is probably one of the hardest ingredients to pull off. Yeah, but you still need salt and pepper. At the very least. Now, here's the thing. The leg and the thigh are way more forgiving than, like, the breast and the wing because this is dark meat. So it has more fat. But you still need to season it.
Flavor happening.
I mean, unless he's going to shred it and put it in something.
With the chicken.
But even then, I still season my goddamn taco or barbecue chicken sandwich or pulled chicken something. This is going to suck. There's no seasoning.
Blood.
It's extremely spicy. Here's what he did with his stupid fucking herb brush. He brushed it on, it all fell off. We won't have any flavor. 2, the difference between organic yogurt and regular yogurt is nothing. It's like people that think organic potato chips are healthier than regular potato chips. No! They're onion slices deep fried in oil and then heavily salted. The fact that the potato is organic means less than nothing. By the way, if you can't find what he's talking about at your local supermarket, you can substitute pearl onions in vinegar. And with gherkins, if you can't find that, and then just baby dill pickle.
We're having our biggest sale ever on our Paleo Valley 100% grass-fed and finished beef stick, the cleanest meat sticks on the market. You can try 30 sticks for $36. They're not only clean, they're also naturally fermented, so they taste different than every other meat stick. And we did that in order to avoid...
Completely fair. If he presented this to me, I would try it.
Stuff, pickles.
Because I believe in you have to give everything at least one bite. But considering my hatred of cauliflower, I don't think I'm having more than 1 or 2. So unless he's got something... Oh no, of course this has to be burgers. Am I that much of an asshole where I would go after his son? Am I that much of an asshole? Not today.
Celebrate summer and find all your outdoor essentials with At Home.
To remind you that 60% of sales on Amazon come from independent sellers, Tracy from Lily's...
And I'm going to do two things with it. I'm going to slice it up and grill it on the barbecue. It's going to be caramelized. It's going to be sweet and unctuous.
Grilled sweet potatoes and homemade beef burgers. All right, let's see if he fucks up the burgers. What? I'm trying to make YouTube some money. All right, I have to take a quick bathroom break. I'll be right back. Yeah, up until YouTube updates its site and tells you to get rid of the fucking ad blocker. Which has happened to me I don't know how many times. No! Do not do this! For a burger, you wanna handle the meat as little as possible. You just want to loosely form it into a ball and then smash it down into your patty size. Get the weight that you want with as little handling as possible, and then press it down into your patty size. I like to go either a third or quarter-pound patties. This massaging the meat, again, you would have better sex, you would have a better chance having sex with Angela Lansbury, and that's in the condition she's in right now. God, it's not pizza dough, dude! Oh, this is driving me fucking nuts!
That's what's in it.
All right, now you've hit Steve Reichlin. Now I'm getting angry.
And if you work it like this, you're going to be able to form an incredible patty burger.
Yeah! One that'll eat like a hockey puck!
Divide it into two equal-sized patties, about 120 grams each.
All right, sorry, I have to 120 grams, 2 ounces. Okay, so a 4-ounce burger, 4.2 to be specific. Oh my God, this is gonna be tougher than shit. No, it's gonna shrink a lot. You need to take a plate. That plate, grab 2 more like it. Get some parchment paper, put the burger patties between those 2 plates. Okay? And then smash the burger. That will give you the perfect size for your burger because it's going to shrink a lot. A dick, but you use store-bought barbecue sauce. You can't even be bothered to make your own barbecue sauce, which is one of the easiest motherfucking things to make. It's put a bunch of shit in a pot and let it simmer for 15 fucking minutes. Oh my God. And again, God forbid we have fucking cheese and we have fucking bacon and we have proper fucking pickles. I don't know what the hell this is, but I'm not giving this ever. Ever. Oh, one last time. Ever! Okay, well, this one's fucked. Alright, I really want to do this.
Fighting dirty.
Hey everybody, I'm Chef Tom with
this is Alabama white sauce burger.
atbbq.com, and this is the Alabama White Smash Burger. Sauce. It's basically a mayonnaise-based tangy sauce. It's completely different than most barbecue sauces you've ever had. Today we're bringing them together. We're gonna start with the onions because they're gonna kind of take the longest out of everything to prep. We'll take the top and the bottom off, peel these, and we're gonna slice them super thin. I wanna shave these just as thin as I possibly can.
All right.
They're gonna caramelize really quick on the burger.
This is not up for debate.
Pop these domes over the top. Now all of that moisture is trapped in there. It's already steaming and melting that cheese.
By the way, I made my own steam lids with some bowls I got from the dollar store. Some 25-cent doorknobs I got at Home Depot, and some screws I got at Home Depot too.
Now we've got lacy cheese around the outside. Gonna have a little skirt. Oh yeah. We're gonna double these up, so let's just go ahead and top them. The fattiness that's going on around it, between the cheese, the beef. Even the mayo, which is a bit tangy itself, but kind of gives a creamy texture.
I probably would have toasted the buns too. That's just with the sandwich whore. Right, not sure what she's gonna do. Okay, so you're making a hash brown.